video is not a theory or a concept, philosophy or a belief system. It's a mechanism through which life operates, life functions, life exists. It is so intrinsic and basic around us, in us, that we tend to ignore it all the time.
It's similar to the gravitational pull.
The gravitational force, which is operating everywhere within us, in the outside world and the interior world. But a normal person is not conscious of it. He is not conscious of the working of this force within him and outside him. He takes it for granted. He thinks this is how it is, and there is nothing special about it. Ardhanari is a form of Lord Shiva, where his one half of the body is depicted as masculine and the other half of his body is depicted as feminine. This might seem strange because we are either masculine or feminine. We are either this or that. All matter is made of opposites. That everything around us, this creation, is a product of opposites. And between these two extremes lies the possibility of unlimited creation. We often hear in yoga literature and yoga classes and satsangs that for a happy, contented and fulfilling life, the various energies which are at work within us needs to be balanced. These various energies largely fall within two extremes, and these two opposites in the human context can be called the masculine energy and the feminine energy. That the masculine and the feminine have intermingled and created a foundation for a personality which is you. So balancing of the masculine and the feminine energy within us means, in the highest sense, to totally disassociate with either of the identities, the positive charge or the negative charge. And once you are not identified with either of the extremes, how can you be identified with the various other mixtures of combinations of energies that exist between these two limits, between these two extremes? So when we are born on the physical plane, we are either in the mold of a man or a female. And then there is the social construct, the social conditioning of what a man is or what a female should be. And later on, as we grow up in the society, in the culture, in the country we live in, these physical conditioning is enhanced, is enforced within each one of us. So by the time we are on the spiritual path, we have various layers of identities. The layer of physical identity, the layers of social identity, social constructs of our roles in society, mental identity, emotional identity, psychological identity. So there are various layers to our personality as human beings. And with the mix of these various layers, that a human's personality is developed. If you are masculine, then try to see the feminine qualities in you, the feminine energies in you. And identify those tendencies, those thought processes, those emotional levels which can be more associated with the feminine energy. Give them space. Don't negate them. Recognize them. And if you want to express them also, because expression is also part of the process of becoming aware of balancing your energies. In this process, the person, the being, slowly starts to disassociate with either of the energies, either of the extremes, and also the various combinations of extremes that exist within each one of us. And these movements are symbolic of those numerous combinations of these two extremes which operate within each one of us. He or she steps aside and says, I am not this, not that. because I am made up of these two extremes in various compositions. So I am neither masculine nor feminine. I am beyond the two extremes.
Please don't infer that I am suggesting bisexual.
The same sex ways of living. The Buddhahood is a natural state which is beyond the state of any identification or attachment with any of the qualities of the world of manifested. The innermost being of an individual is defined by the canvas created by the society and also by human relationships. What we think, who we are. Not what we are actually, but what we think, who we are. The two extremes which are within us also work with outside us, and this can be seen as a play of strings attached to us from these two opposites, and the tension and the play of strings between these two opposites. The mother, the father, the son, the daughter, the relationship between friends, relationship between beloved, the lover, the partner. So in all those relationships we can see the working of these two great extremes. In the context of mother and son, the dominant masculine energy is within me and the dominant feminine energy or extreme is within my biological mother. In the same way, the dominant masculine energy is at work within me in my relationship with the opposite sex, the dominant feminine energy. Play of these extremes can also be seen in the relationship between the father and the daughter, where the father represents the dominant masculine energy and the daughter represents the dominant feminine energy.
By watching, observing, expressing and surrendering. By watching, observing, expressing and surrendering.
We are balancing these two opposite energies between each one of us. This process of seeing them, to be able to see them, to be able to identify them and say, I get attracted so much this lady or this man is because the play of these strings of this opposite energy. Closeness to your beloved, your partner. This closeness is natural in us, it's programmed in us, it's conditioned in us.
There is no way you can deny it.
What you can do is become aware of this closeness and see it from where it is coming. The origin of this closeness, this bondage. In our relationships with our friends, with our colleagues, with people who we don't like, or with people who don't like us. The more and more we will become aware of this play of strings of these two opposites within us and without us, that these energies start to balance. And in this balance, we finally disassociate with either of the extremes. That we become aware of our true state, our true identity, our true home. Nameless, formless identity. The mechanism of Ardhanarishwar, Ardhanari, is very essential in the spiritual path, in the path of Buddhahood, in the path of self-realization or awakening in the natural state. This universal being, between whose two extremes, lies the entire creation, lies the possibility of entire creation.